Dale Plaza today and save.
With hurricane season in full swing, take charge of your safety. Secure important documents in a waterproof bag or safe deposit box. Keep a list of emergency contacts handy. Have a plan for your pets, including food and carriers. And remember, preparedness is a gift you give yourself and your loved ones. This message is brought to you by the Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas.
Presence by myself. It's you and me, Lord, and no one else.
107.9 FM, the
Did you
station
get
for
Mr.
the
Smith?
nation.
Hello.
Did you get Mrs. Smith? Miss
Super
Rose?
sensational. Great morning, everybody.
he
Thank you
said
so
he
much for
would
tuning
be in
tuning
about
in. Of
5
course, you've been with us
minutes
all
for
morning long
him.
since early hours, since 5 o'clock. And some people just waking up about 8, 9 o'clock and they bright eyed and bushy tail acting like they've been with me since early this morning. I'm getting ready to swing it into the Zoom room. Ambassador Glenn Rolla and his guests there standing by on this beautiful morning. I can see them, boy, I tell you, and he's got this big smile on his face, but he know he just got up like 8:30, right? But anyway, no problem. I'm mad. Good morning, good morning, good morning.
Good morning, Dr. Sharice. How are you?
Sleepy.
on a,
We're
on,
good.
on, a,
Yeah, good morning. How y'all doing?
on a Thursday, right?
Yep.
Hey, we have some school folks in, right? So both Miss Curry and Miss Williams, if you need somebody who could pronounce every word for you to the primary school kids, Dr. Sharice is that person.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, as part of your lesson, if you just get your kids to listen to the announcement on Thursday morning, you would hear her roll those words and names off her tongue. Give me a test, Doc. Let me hear it sound.
So, Doc, it seems as if we need to book a date for you to be one of our guest readers at Judith P. Thompson Primary. And then, of course, extend it to our grade sixes to listen to the announcement, and you can give a little challenge. So we're going to book that and get that out.
Oh, there it goes.
What is this? You my manager. All right. Ambassador is claiming to be my manager. He's what?
Yes, yes.
It's done. It's done,
It happened.
We would normally have a Thursday morning laugh, right? I said, Doc, I ain't sure you was speaking in tongues or you was reading words.
We didn't do so bad this morning, though. Everything was,
Oh,
I didn't have any Creole. I didn't have any Spanish. I didn't have any foreign languages to worry about. Everything was just basically English.
well,
Yeah.
you see what I mean, right? You talk about ZNS producing what you call it, multi-languages. So,
Lingual.
linguistics.
Bilingual.
We have a great conversation coming up this morning. We expect Mr. Smith to join us shortly, but and they're going to introduce themselves fully. We have Miss Katharina Williams, and of course, we have Shaniqua Curry, So I don't know if I could say this on air, right? Can I say this on air, Doc?
I don't know what you want to say. I'm not saying.
Well, if your face was showing and somebody asked, well, Glenn, why you have all of this smile? I mean, what else? Smile begat smile. I mean, look,
Absolutely.
look at all of the beauties I have shown on Facebook, and so I am privileged this morning.
Yes, you surrounded very well.
I am surrounded by all of the queens,
Mm-hmm.
all of the persons who serve our country in such a significant way, and our children are great in their hands. And so we're happy to have conversations here with the back to school, if that's what we want to call it, state of readiness, state of preparation. So let me let these ladies, thank you, Doc. Good morning, everybody. This is Inspiration 107.9 FM. Yours truly, Ambassador Glenn P. Roll. And this is one of our favorite conversation. I call Ms. Williams. I say, now, you owe us, right? This is coming up on September. You are our go-to. You are our extended voice to give us an update in terms of what's happening, because we believe what you do at your school is a significant template for what is happening in the other primary school. And then she said, hey, I can't do this by myself. I'm going to reach out to some other team players. and she bought the cleanup hitter in the person of Shaniqua Curry. I wanted to really embarrass my brother Smith to say, you know, I haven't heard or seen him so long until he had have to have Miss Williams really reintroduce us together again. But anyway, since he is not here as yet, we'll deal with that. So, ladies, good morning to you. Please introduce yourself, your school, and let's begin our conversation here on Morning Grace.
Good morning. Good morning. I'm Katharina Williams, principal at Judith P. Thompson Primary, formerly Centerville Primary School, and excited to be on Morning Grace.
A
Miss
pleasant
Curry.
good morning, Shaniqua Curry, serving as the principal at TG Glover Professional Development and Research School. And I'm also currently serving as the president of the Primary Principals Association here in the Bahamas. Thank you for having me this morning.
And so you were wearing multiple hats. So, you know, I guess based on the question will determine which one of those hats you pull. But ladies, when I was growing up, and Mr. Smith hopes to join us later, when I was growing up, we used to think that summer was perhaps the longest period ever, right? And that anyone who found themselves in the teaching arena, that they probably did not have a real job. I mean, you know, every time you turn around, it was seemingly they were on break away or whatever have you. But now as an adult, it seems as if you guys don't ever take a break. Did you have a summer? How has it been? You know, or you carried school with you and therefore you are all excited, ready to come back to take it into another year. Let's start with you, Ms. Williams.
Well, well, Pastor Glenn, persons don't know, especially administrators, we don't have institutional leave where we're out for the entire summer. And with so much happening on school campuses, it's very difficult to take vacations, believe it or not, because there's the extended learning summer programs. There are different camps like Ministry of Youth and those that come to use our campuses. There are contractors that's on campuses. So it's very, very difficult to take a vacation. Well, I took 2 weeks at the end of the time. And I can tell you, before my 2 weeks was up, my phone was going off and I was back making sure that contractors and those kinds of personnel, that they were gaining access and they were doing what they need to do. So it's very, very difficult for school leaders to take the break that's needed. But our minister and director, they knew that someone like me was coming back tired and not sure whether I wanted to start the school day. And they just had us in conclave for the Monday and Tuesday of this week. And I can say being with colleagues and getting the information, it gave me the jolt that I needed to come back to sit at this desk and to prepare and be ready for back to school.
And don't forget that mug of coffee I see you have, please.
Oh
You know?
yeah, oh yeah. This is needed in the morning. Even every time I try to come off of it, oh my God.
Don't forget that coffee. Miss Curry, I don't know if I should say you had to double up because you had to take into account the entire primary level, and then you had your own race you have to run. How has it been for you?
A very, very thin line, but I still had an opportunity to relax. I did take a break in the early part. And so when school closed and the children went home, I went home also. So that was good strategy. So I was off and able to relax for the first 4 weeks of the summer. But
Wow.
after that, yes, it was business as we prepare for the new academic year. Yes,
Well,
sir.
well, well, I don't think it robbery. And of course, Miss Williams, you know ZNS love for your school. I can't say that publicly because some other schools may realize that we really have favorites, right? Probably because you guys are right next to us, but we get to share almost year round with what you guys are doing, get a sense of what's happening in the school. You rightfully mentioned the fact that you underwent name change in that regard. But give us a little peek, both of you, into perhaps what the last term was like.
Last term was a push almost to the finish end. You know, every year we set what we call wigs, but really they're goals as to where we're starting in September and where we want to end by June. And so we do a checkup in December, but of course, from January to June, there's that push to ensure that we are meeting all of the goals that we would have set.
Mhm.
And that is our longest term. So a lot of things come to get in the way of meeting those goals, and so many things would have happened. Also, I'd like to say within this last term, we saw the passing of our matron,
Wow.
Mrs. Judith Thompson. So our school, we went through that mourning process of losing such a pillar within our school community, and having her family come to be with us even at the end was a great thing. But we saw where hard work came in, paid off. As you know, I'm gonna plug this in. In January, our school came back and took the Junior Junkanoo championships. And so that was very, very exciting for our school. We had left the arena for a minute to focus on our academics, and then we felt as if we had done some work. And so we went back there, and it truly paid off. But we have a lot of successes that we can talk about on another show, but we were able to really push and make the name Judith P. Thompson great within this arena.
Well, definitely, and if you talk Junkanoo, do the kids have the same level of competitiveness as other real Junkanoo group, Miss Curry?
Oh, yes.
They
Oh,
sure
yes.
do. They sure
Oh,
do.
yes, I can tell you. And those who can beat, pushing away those who think they're not beaters, and everyone want a drum, everyone want a cowbell. It was really, really awesome. It is something, and one of our director, I'll go into our director, part of the goals for this school year is to focus on not just academics, but the arts. And that was a part of the focus. We integrated Junkanoo within the curriculum across the Bahamas, secondary and primary school this last term of the school year. And we saw where it paid off, where students gain an appreciation and a greater love for this part of our culture that we call Junkanoo. And then the Junkanoo community, they've bought in. So they come into our schools to help us to really refine this craft from here.
Well, I see why we have to have multiple conversations. It seems as if you guys are going to set up a curriculum for Morning Grace, at least allow us to update. Corey, you get a chance to craft out what Miss Williams defined as a sort of unique school in its own way. Plus, you are the president of the entire Primary Outlook. Sort of bring us into both worlds, please. What does this new construct of school look like, and how significant or necessary that is to sort of adapt to a change so that our students can be better prepared for real life?
Okay, so the aligned goal of the Professional Development School is that it works in partnership with the University of the Bahamas, the education unit, the education arm at the university. And from year 2, our intern teachers, our teachers that are in training, are immersed in our campus life. And so they get firsthand experience of what the profession entails before they finish their 4-year program. And
Wow.
so it's an institution that operates, I always tell persons, like the medical program that
Yeah.
you watch Grey's Anatomy, where they're just like they're in labs. They're buzzing young minds around them, just trying, experimenting new advances in how to engage our students, how to meet our students. And so that's an exciting campus to be a part of. We have a professor in residence on site, Dr. Faith Butler, that works
Okay.
alongside interventions. We capture from data areas that are of concern to our students, and we all know that would be within the numeracy and the literacy area. And so we would then formulate programs and so forth to reach our students. I'll give an example like coming into the academic year, we would have had about 115 or so students that were below a 0 point,
Wow.
sorry, a 1 point average.
Wow.
And we, through engaging them in different activities involving our student interns, we were able then to turn that number around, and we were excited to celebrate that we're now about 60 in. So we would have cut that short half, and we're
Wow.
after that other half because we want everybody to be achieving at least a 2 point and above. And so that's what's happening at our school. Yes, we did not win Junior Junkanoo, but we stood tall on Bay. We did. We are about engaging the entire child. And so yes, we were there, and we're looking forward to coming for what Judith P has. We're coming for it.
Don't let Katharina hear you, because she really like have bragging rights when it comes to this young
That's okay.
stuff,
That's
right?
okay.
But you have bragging right because whatever happens in your space happen in the others. You're the lab tester. You're the ones that say, hey, this is what works.
No,
This
no, Doc, no, Doc, no,
I,
Doc.
Yes.
I'm just
Yes.
saying
That's
based
it.
on what I'm
That's it.
hearing.
No,
You're
Doc.
very focused. You're very focused.
But Doc,
You're
let me
very
say this.
focused.
As my sister in education, it works. Thank you. The support of Mrs. Curry has caused a lot of the successes that we have here at the school.
Mhm.
I can tell you, when I first came here 2 years ago, there were some issues with getting the government's assistance, the monies to us, and so we started school without the funding that other schools would have started with. No fault of the government, just a mix-up. And when I tell you, my sister sitting here gave so much support to us that you didn't know the difference between TG Glover and Centerville Primary. And so while we are very competitive, because I went and I found their group and I told them I have something to put on you all tonight, but but it's still so great that when their schools succeed, we succeed and we celebrate their successes. And the relationship that we have with that institution and this and others as well, but I'm going to single that institution out. Has been really, 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 really phenomenal for the success of our school.
And that's really the beauty of it in the context of education, right? In the context of developing students and great minds that they get to see fleshed out right before them, this sense of sisterhood, this sense of community, this sense of, yes, on the one hand, to be competitive, but to know at the end of the day, it's also about the celebration of others. And so for both of you, it's this wonderful lesson. But who is this intruder who is this intruder we brought in here? Who is this gentleman? Who's this
Let's not get off on the wrong foot and we just reach. Let's not get off on the wrong foot and we just reach. All right. Look, I am from T.A. Thompson Junior High School. Our mascot is a scorpion. And I think is you can feel the sting all day. Don't get sting up before school reach. Behave yourself.
Oh boy.
Listen, I said, man, I said before you came on, Smitty, I said, I can't believe Miss Williams had to be the one to bring you and I back in the same space again, right? But can we have at least a coffee when you do have a break? I realize that your life is all impacted. I see you in so many different spaces, sometime really, really been the symbol of leadership at the school level. I want to commend you, particularly in an environment where lots of folks say it's almost a woman world, so to speak, and that's not a knock on those who do it, but for you to step into that space, Smitty, and to really marshal and lead. Even when I heard the government's initiative to highlight, I think the SHORE program or whatever have you, I said, boy, that feel and smell like Smitty. So I don't know if you had anything to do with it, but please, say good morning to Inspiration 107 and give us a little sight of what's happening within your space.
Sure. Good morning, well, hold on before I get in trouble. Good morning, Miss Curry. principal of TG Glover and president of the Primary Principals Association. It's great to see you again. Just remember, TG Glover turn has come to T.A. Thompson. Send the good ones.
They
But
are
yeah,
all good.
good morning, Miss Williams. Good to see my colleagues here. It's the beginning of another school year, and sometimes we don't make it,
Yeah.
you know, and we're here. And we're back here not only because we have a purpose, but we've chosen to acknowledge and answer the purpose God has put in our lives by showing up.
Yes,
Mhm,
sir.
mhm.
And so I'd like to commend you both for showing up and being ready once again. I know you are very invigorated and excited from that 2-day ministry conclave, you know, where we got to meet all of our colleagues from the north to the south, the east to the west, and all of the in between, and share some time, learn some things, learn what the ministry is talking about, or what the ministry is dreaming about, and where we fit into it. And I must say it was great seeing you all there and interacting with you. Other than that, yeah, I'm a T.A. Thompson. For those people who don't know T.A. Thompson, it's the old C.C. Sweeting Jr., right there on the other side of the road from C.C. Sweeting Sr., right up the road from Caterpillar and right next door to Eva Hilton. Just in case you want to do, I would drop you the GIS or the GPS, but you know, I don't want y'all to come this way just yet. Getting ready for the new year. You can't spoil the surprise and the excitement. So stay in your small corner, and I in mine. Now come September, come Monday though, 1st of September. Curry, you can
They
see me
may
in
want to
front.
drop some goodies, Mr. Smith. Some of
Drop
those
some
things
goodies.
that's
I can be
on our
dropping
list
about 5
that
goodies
needed
right
some
back to
fans
Shanita
and some
Curry.
stuff. So drop the GPS, drop the location. Because I believe we have some people in this space that have education at heart and would want to make sure that we're ready to receive those
Mhm.
children come September 1st. So don't stop them. Well, y'all can come to Judith P. He don't want you. Just remember what he said. He doesn't want you to come there.
And really, you know, really for all of you, that's really what it's about, right? That when we talk about these environments, so a lot go into it, whether it be from the Ministry of Education, the Ministry of Works in terms of the school preparation, and I'm sure that element is going on as well, as
Yes.
you have mentioned to all of you, Ms. Williams and those. Sometimes you also have to be on this place when you're supposed to be at least breathing. But it does require parental support. It does require community support. It does require all of the stakeholders to be involved. Let's throw it out to whoever want to pick it up first. But your perspective on the added support, the sense of community, that you are better when we have this kind of support. Notwithstanding, Smitty don't want to give his GPS location until the 1st of September.
Well,
Well-
not to take over, but when I got here, for the first 2 years, the theme that we took on was building stronger together.
Yeah.
And persons watching our institution would say, "Oh, Miss Williams, you always have people," and it wasn't just a financial thing, Pastor Glenn. The support of stakeholders across the spheres of society that came in. I can say as a result of the adoption that ZNS gave us for the first year, but we're still the favorite, you know? But like we had the Toastmasters program started with Club 1600, all boys first for our first year. Last year, it expanded to Club 7178, I think it was, with the female. But what that did for our young leaders, and they were not just academic leaders. It was amazing by the end of the year when I saw the growth in those children. It ended with a clash, a speech competition between the boys and the girls. And let me tell you, those kids ate that up. But it
Wow.
was a result of them going to a Toastmasters program, rubbing shoulders with leaders and community people, and seeing those kinds of things happen. It gave those children hope. ZNS with Mr. Dwayne Wallace, he
Yeah.
brought in a couple of our guys to see how it worked behind the scene, the cameras, this. And so we are hoping to even start this year. It was announced that we're going to even do the junior reporter program, where some of our young people would be reporting what's happening in education from their perspective. And so it's not just a monetary help that we need from stakeholders. It is just coming in. Doctors Hospital, they come once a month to read with our children. Their therapist, Dr. Roll, he comes in and he does sessions with our teachers about how to decompress, how to do this and how to do that. And so all of this is a part of the partnerships that we are looking for from our stakeholders. And don't say, oh, they already have this person. We could never have enough people to really affect what's happening in these children's lives, because so much is happening. And sometimes I don't have it. It takes you to come in and help us get it done. And of course, that financial part, that's big, because we don't have enough. Come September, I know my
Sorry.
teachers are gonna be rowing for funds again,
Miss Curry.
because
Yay.
the one or two you gave them last year, they ain't working. So
You
come
don't
in
need to
and
be
bring
here,
some
Miss Curry.
stuff.
I'm
I
the
don't know.
ref.
I don't
Go ahead,
know
Miss
what. I
Curry.
don't know
Go
what
ahead,
they
Miss
invite us
Curry.
for. They have Williams on. I don't know what
I'm the
we doing here.
referee. I'm the referee in this, and as part of the referee, my job is to settle
Listen,
all conflict resolution.
listen.
I
I'm
don't
gonna
know what we
manage
doing
this.
here, Curry.
I'm gonna
I
manage this from now on. Let's go.
I only want to say, I have awesome partners at TG Clover.
Mhm.
But what is most important is the partnership with our parents.
Mhm.
They are understanding that we want and we need them to do this thing. And it took some time because, of course, they had to learn the culture. They have to learn that there are regulations in everywhere you go. So you cannot just burst on the campus. Within the regulations, we have an understanding that what is important between the two of us is that we want the best for our babies. Our parents, once you understand that they love their children, and that's why some of them, they only know how to communicate sometimes in a negative way.
Wow.
But when we try to build that relationship and receive them differently, it springs into a very, very good thing, a positive thing. And so shout out to all of TG Clover parents who help wherever they can and support wherever they can. Thank you.
So I think, Brother O, that the three of us here actually represent education as a whole. Ms. Williams can speak about what is established. Ms. Curry can speak about what is happening, and I'll speak that we are in the building phase. Here at TAT, we say step by step, block by block. We're working to strengthen our relationship with our parents, and we're getting there. We're working to reach out and establish partnerships in the communities. And so we're in the active phase here of building the foundation. Ms. Curry is building on her foundation, and Ms. Williams decided she won't be to the bell course already. Right? And so that's actually a function of how our society is. We are all in different space or different phases of the development, but we're all going towards the common goal. We know that students do best when there's strong engagement from the family or from the parents in their lives, not only outside of school, but in school. We know that the community grows as schools get to interact with, as parents get to interact with the schools, and the schools get to interact with the parents. And we know that the community becomes stronger the more they see each other contributing to a common singular effort. And so I'd like to say that here we have represented that entire cycle of nation building that I know that you are very passionate about, step by step. The school cannot do everything. As a matter of fact, one of the things is, although the students spend most of their life in school, their daily life, still the most important person in their lives these days are their parents.
Their parents.
So if their parents buy in,
Mm-hmm.
and the parents are part of the community, and then the parents bring the community in, then it reinforces to the student what we are trying to advance in the school. We are supposed to be providing the space where the student can hear about, learn about, try, fail, lift up, and try again in a safe space. And that is what we do. That's academically, socially, behaviorally, step by step, block by block. That's what we say at TAT. And you know, if you come here long enough, you will feel our sting. But come here long enough, you can feel our sting. All right. But it's a step-by-step basis. And when we get to the point where we talk about academic successes, when I give you the numbers, you'll see that it's happening even when people don't think it is.
Yeah, you know, it's so important for that. And again, I don't know if we do justice. We're not going to take any break. We're going to plug right into the 10 a.m. hour, given the fact that, you know, I hope we can extend a little bit longer. But particularly yourself, Mr. Smith, and allow me to be biased. Katharina invited Dr. Sharice to be a part of our program. So Morning Grace is volunteering at your service. So I believe I have your contact. So
Awesome.
whenever we want to have further conversation live from your place, we would extend that opportunity as well. But how important, especially given our overall development, how important it is do you sense for students to see a male principal? And that's not to negate the others, but how important that imagery, that sense, particularly given the fact that the construct of family is not what we have become accustomed to traditionally, how important that is for students to see that, to see a Michael Ishmael Smith at the fore in the context of education and leadership?
So I will start from this position. I will start that the most critical thing that a child or a learner rather needs to see is a competent, capable person, regardless of sex.
Yeah, I got you.
By a competent, capable person, regardless of sex. That said, we still live in a society that has a very strong patriarchal bend. Students, learners, children, our population tend to result to responding to males differently than they respond to females. And in certain cases, if they respect you, they respond to you sooner than they do, because in a patriarchal society, more than likely the female still has that matriarch or that comfort and, you know,
Absolutely.
nice, you know, because I'm online, I can't remember the word, nurturing. They tend to reflect or turn to the nurturing aspect as an initial reaction, and they have to learn different.
Yes, sir.
They look at the male and they still see discipline. Okay. And so in that case, it is a good thing when they can see capable males on a campus and that we can see capable males leading, because it also not only provides that initial response, tying into what is traditionally there whilst recreating or creating what's new, but also being able to see themselves reflected in a space that is still positive. And that is very important for them. You know, a little bit of the history back in the day, education was a male-dominated space as official education, not home education. But as it changed and it began to open up and females came into the space, then females occupied the space, because unfortunately at that time, that was one of the few spaces that we allowed them to go to become credentialed, to become professional, and to earn a viable living. And so we once you open the gate and like all the females were being kept at home and now they have somewhere to go, they will flood, numbers will come in. Males will step back. They say now, oh, the money this, the money that, whatever the social dynamics are, whatever they are, we have it. But it is good for them to see male representative in an education area where education is not the most popular space to be, and know that there's someone there that traditionally is the person you're sent to for real discipline. Not that the females don't do it. My mommy, buddy. But I tell you, she only had to send me to my daddy once. That doesn't mean she wasn't dealing with the matter.
Yeah.
But that one time she said, I can send you to your daddy, that was lasting. All right, so I'm saying that is embedded in us socially, culturally as a people. So it is good for us to be here, capable and giving a space where they can see us in the space because they know to respond to us.
Yeah, and that's one of the reasons we want to commend even the others who are here on the platform. Like I said, Katrina, as soon as we spoke to conversation, she said, "Hey, let me see if I could get Mrs. Smith," and then I realized the name. Let me ask all of us this question in that regard, having come out of the conclave. What is your sense in terms of the direction of education?
Education really wants to get males in. They want teachers, but they're still looking for males. I won't say if they can find capable males, buddy, they will get you in. But they're looking for teachers, and if they can find males, they do it. Education is trying to work hard to retain teachers, but especially retain males. And so from that aspect, on the base level of your question, there is that. But I'm sure Ms. Curry can expand a whole lot more because she from teach. I can leave it
What
alone.
I know. I'll add to what Mrs. Smith is saying. The ministry is looking forward to a holistic child. I really like the big five, the director is calling it, the approach of looking to develop the children academics, their arts, activities. Help me out there. There is also the attitude was added in there, developing on their character and so forth. I really see the push for a whole child and understanding that all of our children are not academically inclined. And so ensuring that we engage all to get their full potential out of them. Hmm.
Also coming not just out of the conclave, but watching the trend of our leadership, I can say that we have a minister that's very, very hands-on in education, and that is almost not seen as much. But when I tell you the Honorable Glennis Hannah Martin, she would be on your campus in the middle of the night calling you and asking,
Boy,
why is this? Why is
ain't
that? I
lie.
see this, I see that. What? And that she is hands on in education. So we see the
Yeah.
support from the top. And so it gives leaders like me a sense of feeling appreciated or feeling, important enough that she would not just send minions around to find out what's happening on with school repairs and all of that. She's
Comes us
coming
out.
to check to see
Yeah,
if
she
that roof
does.
is done, to see if the contractor. So
Mhm.
I must say thank you to our minister, even sending that sense of support to us. And she did speak to the prime minister in our presence about the lucrative end of our
She didn't speak. She didn't speak to the prime minister. She spoke to the minister of finance.
That's what it was.
She didn't speak to the prime minister. She directed the communication to the minister of finance,
That's it. She
who
told us to
happens to
meet him
be
at the door.
the
She
prime
set
minister.
him up.
Hey, Smith, it's good to know who giving out the money, right? This is such an interesting conversation. Let me sort of ask it in this way, because sometimes schools and teachers, and you see the joy and the expression in terms of, hey, this is school year and opening. And then sometimes it seems as if the conversation in the public space is solid. You get the sense of this sort of labor of the average and other stuff like that, right? Is that a misrepresentation of what's happening within those spaces? Because you guys seem to have an appreciation that that's not the significant means by which you measure success, by which you
No.
measure education. Talk to us about your perspective and how you measure it and what it is that we need to buy in, rather than sometimes getting stuck on what may be defined. Not that that's not there, what may be defined as a D average.
So first of all, Curry, I know you. I see it
I
in your
just
head,
meant to, why
but
don't
I
you
just
let you end it? I just want
okay.
to start with the word growth. It's important to understand where you are, where you've met the child, and where you're taking the child. Growth is what we aspire for. We set goals for growth. And once you've seen that growth, trust me, as educators, we must celebrate it. That's what gives us the motivation and the encouragement to keep on going when you know you've had this amount of children not achieving this grade and they now achieving it. That's where the gratification comes. That's what keeps you going. And so now, Brother Smith will top
Right.
that off. Go
So-
ahead.
I'm going to start with this. Yes, I will not deny the fact that the real tool needed for success is grit and resilience. Success is expressed in different ways. But those people who are successful are those people who are resilient, who fall down, get back up. Let me rephrase that. Who fall down to get back up.
Mhm, mhm.
And they keep going, and they keep going, and they keep going.
Growth.
Education often defines the range of success you have and how high you go. Because society, whether we want to accept it or not, has different tiers,
Yeah.
different
Mhm.
levels. Education allows you to move through those tiers or enables you to better move through and navigate those tiers and those levels.
Mhm.
Coming back to the D. My focus every year is to increase the number of A to D passes we have in the school. All right? I'm focused on the A to D. If we go back to the old vilified bell curve, your
yes.
society, 10 to 15% is at the very top,
Mhm.
10 to 15% is at the very bottom, 75 to 80% of your your population in the globe
Mhm.
is
Keep it
in that C to D category. They
Yep.
are the people who run the world.
Mhm.
All right. The A to B, that top 15%, they're pretty much self-directed. You can guide them and challenge them. That bottom set, they pretty much self-directed too. That middle set, though,
Mhm.
they are the people that make your society go. That top 15% going into academia, they may feed you the ideas, they may feed you the concepts, but the C to D causes those ideas and concepts to come in.
Wow.
And I preface it to saying that because it's not a very popular thing for a school leader to say that my focus is on the A to D. They want to know that our focus is on the A and B. That's
Mhm.
10% of the population. I
Mhm.
challenge any business person only to operate on 10% of their target goal and see how long they'll stay in business.
Mhm.
The other thing I'd like to challenge student parents to do, and I've stopped doing it, go to the Ministry of Education, see what it takes to earn a D on a BJC or a BGCSE. You sit down, you take that test, you look at the rubric, and you look at what a D is, and then you tell me whether you can do it. You clamoring for it to happen? When you see what it takes to attain a D in language arts, you will see that that is what is needed for society. That is your entry level. That is your minimum starting point. And it is better than some of them can do, those people who are calling for this A and B average.
Mhm.
All right? Now, I'm also not a proponent of this A and D average thing. A D is a grade. I get in trouble for this all the time. When we took GCE, since they like to talk about the GCE and they don't want to talk about the BGCSE, what was the A? A distinction.
Mhm.
What was a B?
I came along, I
Special
remember.
merit, eh?
What was a C?
Special merit. A
A C was
merit.
credit.
Merit.
C was
Oh, credit.
credit.
Yes, credit.
What was a D?
A pass.
Pass.
Yes. Same thing.
What was the D?
A
A
pass.
pass.
So we live in a society that's always pushed us to, if I take home a D, my life was miserable. But you're looking for above average people.
Mhm.
A D is a pass. A D means that you meet the criteria. Anything above that is special recognition. And it's good to aspire for that. I don't have
Yeah.
a problem with that. But our job
Balance
is to
approach.
produce
Yeah.
people or citizens of the Bahamas
Mhm.
who are able to function in an ever-changing,
Mhm.
how it used to go, an ever-changing, interdependent global society.
Society. Mhm.
And a D allows you to do that.
Let, let,
All right?
let me ask it to you in this way, Ms. Williams, because you brought it up in terms of your school. And that is, while that is one of the measurement, it seemed to me that there's also a shift in this refocus to get more other programs, other things that are consistent with community. You mentioned John Canoe as an example of it. I think last year when you and I spoke, you talk about the actual measurables by which you were seeing success.
Mhm.
Speak to that in your context, Catherine, in terms of what excites you, what parents need to appreciate, the direction that education is going, so that we don't, like Mr. Smith said, get stuck into this measurement of D, and we see that the entire holistic approach that has been done in terms of developing the children.
I think education need to come to the front of this conversation. Like Mr. Smith would have said, I appreciate that bell curve so much. But Joe Public, when they hear the D average, they don't appreciate what would have been done to even get
Yes.
some of those children
Mhm.
to the D.
Yep.
We have those kids who are coming to school without breakfast every morning.
Mm.
And those kids who are not coming to school every day, those parents who would not buy a workbook if the Lord asked them to do it. And then we have on the other end, educators like ourselves who are still at the gates greeting these children. Here, when I tell you, there's hardly ever a day that I can get off at 4 o'clock. I don't know what getting off at 4 o'clock means. I can tell you of a story. 8 p.m., me and my security guard walking through this community trying to get a first grader home. This is success.
Mhm.
This is what we've been doing that the public don't see and don't appreciate. They're just talking this D, not knowing that for Johnny to get a D in the home that he's in, listen, Johnny needs a trophy.
Hallelujah.
You understand? And it's so many, and especially in the government school. And I'm not going to degrade homes, but the affluent people put their children in other institutions where they demand results and they participate in results because they're spending their money. In the government schools, if we ask for $10 for something, it's a challenge. Every time there's fun day, you go on Facebook and they're tearing the schools down for what you're asking for fun day, not knowing that we have to pay for so many of the things that their children are enjoying in order to run a successful institution. Our government can't pay for everything. When they give us a budget, they said, that's what you're getting, work with it. And by the time we buy cleaning supplies and toilet paper, that's gone.
Wow.
And so this success that we're looking at must be measured differently. I will talk about our athletic program. We had a teacher like Mr. Cunningham, Rashad Cunningham, and my sports director, Charlene Moss. When I tell you, Pastor Roll, they bought those children their clothes. They have a bag. Mr. Cunningham have a bag of undershirt and boxes and socks. So that when it's time for our team to go out and play, yes, our school team, those children that don't have it, they can go. And of course, they don't bring it back. So every time they play, they got to buy another set. And this is how we measure success. They're impacting these children. We are impacting these children where they are. And it's not just the A's, B's, C's. Well, they ain't counting the D's like Mr. Smith said. They ain't looking at the D. They're looking for A's and B's. And we don't have A and B effort being put into a lot of the children that our teachers have to. And if we talk about what happened even during COVID, we're still talking about the learning loss. And it's not just COVID. We are seeing for some reason a lot of children coming into our schools that are on the spectrum of almost special needs. That's some of our teachers are not even trained and equipped to deal with, but we make them deal with them because there's no space in a special program, or it takes so long to have them assessed. So that's success for us.
You know, as I listen to all of you and you bring your passion, Shaniqua Curry, to this space, against the backdrop, Mr. Smith, of a society that, you know, for many may say have many cracks within the context. So school opening is not just opening of books to you guys. This goes far beyond that, that you become an extension of this care community, an extension of this care society, that you have to look at all of the factors around it
Yes.
before you may even get to what may be defined as an ABC of school. You have to take into account
Absolutely.
all of these other stuff. Maybe now is the time for you to take a few minutes, because time is almost gone, and we did promise that we're going to probably find a space to get to each one of you guys. But speak to the public in terms of that element of it. What can the public do better or more
Mhm.
to appreciate what you guys are doing, to appreciate that you're an extension, a part of this, so that there can be this sort of public buy-in, whether we talk about churches, civil society, persons who are listening? What can be done more to ease, if I could put it that way, so that you can give greater focus to the ABCs of life?
Mhm. Continued partnership. Um, Continued partnership is what is needed. We need persons to find out how is it I can help. What can I do? You know, visit schools, get involved, not just from the eye of looking at the academic results. And there are a lot of persons that do it, but I think there's always room for more. You know, Miss Williams like to own ZNS, but ZNS chairperson,
But why
Mr.
Mm.
Clint Watson,
Miss Phyllis be getting off?
Mr.
We better put that on a low key, right?
I'm serious, Mr. Clint
Mm.
Watson. I'm going to, you know, put focus on him. He has served as the chairman of our school board at TG Glover for the
Wow.
past, yes, 5 years.
Okay.
And he has served with diligence. I mean, making sure that we are on the cutting edge. His support has always been there, and in a very quiet way, you know.
But
But I'm
listen,
just
if you call his name one more time, my telephone may ring and he may tell me be by you tomorrow.
Yes, sir. Trust me. Trust me. And she knows that. She
Yes,
knows
yes,
that. She
yes.
knows that. but
Don't think I don't see
but
how y'all trying to hog up all this ZNS promotion.
no,
Don't
no,
think I
no,
ain't see this.
no.
This is your brother Ismail. So
I
just give him a
No.
call, man. You just don't call him enough. I just called Pastor Glenn.
No, but just continued partnership, honestly. Continued partnership is what is needed. It that support, when you feel supported, you're motivated more, because no 2 days are alike in the school system. Today we may need um something, and tomorrow it's totally different. But just knowing that we have the support, I know I can call on Mr. Watson. I know I can call on Henry Dean, who is the neighbor right next door in TG. You know, when you know you have persons that have partnered to ensure that these children get the best, that support goes a long way.
So I'd like to just pick up on a little piece of what Ms. Curry said. I have always asked all of my community partners, and it's cost me some. So one of the first conversations I speak with them is, I need you to be consistent.
Wow.
Yes.
Showing up once is only a photo op for me.
Yep. Yep.
So if you're only going to show up once, I need you not to show up, because that's detrimental to the student.
Yeah.
Because
Exactly.
once the learner sees you that one time and then you don't ever come back, that seeds something negative in their life. And it
Definitely.
also makes it difficult for the next person who wants to come and contribute. Makes it harder for them to reach the student, because then it's a matter of, they only come in this one
Wow.
time.
Wow.
What we need from our partnerships are consistency. If you'd only come once a month, say once a month, and keep it once a month. If you could only come every other month, whatever it is, say what it is that you can do. Also, we asked them, when I ask, they come and I ask them, what is it you hope to do?
Mm-hmm.
I want to know what your end time goal is to make sure it coincides with what we want to do in the school and what we're working on. And so the volunteerism is great. The community involvement is great. I agree with Ms. Curry. My neighbors has called me and tell me when the children doing something
Yes.
or when
Yes.
something is happening at the school. That is awesome. The other part of it is if you're coming to the school to contribute, please have something that you want to do. Please have something that you want to do to express it to us so we can help you achieve your goal and you can help us achieve our goal. And please don't use the schools as a photo op.
Absolutely. Well,
Let me
Sorry,
say
my bad.
one of
I
our
just ain't get no one come now.
one of our sponsors, Pastor Glenn,
keeping it real.
listening to
Go ahead.
listening to Mr. Smith, I've never seen this in education. I have the Centerville Seventh-day Adventist Church.
Mm.
They come every week, twice a week with breakfast.
Mm.
When I tell you, they would ask Mrs. Williams, what do you need? And they go within their congregations and find their businesses. They have given me a brand new playground through the businesses within their church. Yes, the church itself may not have had the money, the institution, but they found it for me. They come with workbooks. One year before last, they asked any child that didn't have a workbook. And when I submitted that list, every workbook was purchased. Student uniforms. So they are here every week for us. They do a tutoring program twice a week for the students of this school and the surrounding neighborhood. So Mr. Smith, when you talk about consistency, that is really what we're talking about. And we see the difference. Those children know Miss Musgrove. They
Oh,
know
yeah.
the church down the road and whatever, because they know that they've been a part of our journey and they're consistently within the neighborhood and making a difference. I'm not going to turn away the one time because some businesses may
that's a
only can
success.
do
We
one
stepping
time.
up and talking now. I can have my 30-second success at T.A. Thompson. You want to know what's happening coming out
You got
of
30, you got
COVID?
each of you got 30 seconds.
I'm taking my 30 seconds first because Ms. Williams is talking long and she only talk about the people I ain't reached yet. So I ain't know about
He found his match.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. So coming out of COVID in 2023,
30 seconds.
T.A. Thompson had 34% students of the population doing a 2.0. It's now 2025. It's moved up to 55% of the students attaining a 2.0 and above. BJC, and then I get on with that. Coming out of COVID 2022, 9% of the students obtaining the minimum requirements for Bahamas High School diploma. 2025, 33% receiving the minimum requirements. So that's something they don't have to worry about when they go over there. Step by step, block by that, we're going to build, pass by Gregory Street, and you can get Sting. Bam, my 30 seconds.
Amen. Morning Grace is going to be there with you, Smith and Miss Curry. Your 30 seconds before Miss.
Grabbing right on to Mr. Smith because Mr. Smith gets my children. You heard him say he want to keep some of the bad. He want me to keep the bad ones, but they are making his statistics. And so I said it earlier, but we're celebrating post-COVID, 41%, and now we're at 59% achieving that 2 point and above. And so Mr. Smith's job is going to even get easier. That's my 30 seconds.
That's your 30 seconds, Miss
You?
Williams.
I know where you live.
Miss Williams.
And of course, again, for us, just 2 years ago, we were at 31%. We had a low, and now we're at 51%. And so that's a great achievement for us. And thank you again, Pastor Glenn, for allowing us to talk education, allowing us to let the community know that we are here doing our work. We just need the help to ensure that student success is our #1 priority.
TAT all day.
TAT all day.
Come feel this thing. 65% of our students got ADD passes in BJC this year. Talk that.
Smitty, I'll reach out to you, Dr. Sharice Have, Miss Williams, and of course Miss Curry. We'll see what we can do. But she sent a shout out straight to my boss. So
Straight to your boss.
she put rank on me, but that's all right.
Yes.
ZNS is here to make it happen and to truly amplify what you guys are doing, and that's really what it's about. People get a perception out there. but for you to come in and to have the conversation with us is meaningful, and we wish you and pray all of God's success for you. Smitty, I hear you consistently. Consistency is your key word. I'm not going to send anybody unless they can do it right. Have a great day, everybody. Dr. Sharice, I'm handing it
Thank
back
you.
to you.
Thank you to all of you. Morning Grace coming to a close on this beautiful Thursday morning. Inspiration 107.9 FM, the station for the nation. Continuing to enjoy the conversation. Of course, take those nuggets with you that was shared on this great morning over there on the Morning Grace platform. Margaret Elizabeth comes your way next, right here on Inspiration